Hello Summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Dan, and today I'll be going over all the best blind picks, flex picks, and hard carries for every role in patch 9.23. With the preseason having so many changes in it, our analysts are excited to bring you our latest picks for this meta. Since we want to prepare you guys as much as possible for Champion Select, we've decided to combine all three of these concepts into one video. Also, guys, today's question of the day is, what are your thoughts on the new champion, Aphelios? Let us know in your answers down in the comments below. And also, before we get started, ProGuides is the #1 proven way to quickly level up your League of Legends skills. And the best part is, we have a Black Friday subscription sale going on right now for 33% off, and it ends at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Are you guys getting ganked in your own lane? Constantly getting demolished? Don't worry, we got you covered. ProGuides is the #1 proven way to quickly level up your League of Legends skills. Whether you're looking for tier lists, champion guides, coaching, or courses from your favorite pro players, ProGuides is where you'll find them. Even players like Nightblue, Bunny Fufu, BoxBox, and Loco Doco support ProGuides. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and start improving right now. Alright, with all that being said, let's jump right into the video. Let's start off with our blind pick recommendation for patch 9.23. These are 5 champions that you might want to consider when you're picking before your opponent and just want a solid laner who can do decently well into every matchup. First up, we have our top lane blind pick recommendation, who is going to be Heimerdinger. Heimer became a lot stronger at the start of the preseason due to the changes made to Conqueror, combined with the return of a lot of tanks in the top lane. Due to his nature of being a strong lane bully who can pump out consistent DPS, the new Conqueror rune makes him almost untouchable against most top laners. By setting up his 3 turrets at the start of the game, Heimerdinger can easily have perma priority in his lane while also giving the opponent almost 0 chances to engage onto him. The damage per stack, combined with the 15% healing and Ravenous Hunter, makes it a lot more forgiving to take damage during the laning phase because you'll be able to heal it back up in no time. In addition to this, Heimer also has a decent self-peel ability with his E, which is just icing on the cake. Make sure to try out Heimerdinger in the top lane this patch because you'll be surprised at how free low this champion is right now. Next up is our jungle blind pick, who's going to be Olaf. Olaf is an aggressive early to mid-game jungler who has great dueling, farming, and decent ganking. At the start of patch 9.23, the jungle did get reworked to now grant less EXP, but have the respawn timers reduced from 2.5 minutes to 2 minutes. On top of this, dragons have become a lot more squishy, so it's a lot easier for junglers to solo this objective. These changes all play into Olaf's strengths as a jungler this patch due to his high clear speed, unlimited lifesteal, and ability to solo objectives extremely fast. In addition to this, Olaf can also invade and duel the enemy jungler really well because of his early game damage and sustainability. However, the best part is that Olaf is a relatively simple champion to play, with no complex mechanics, so you'll be able to pick him up in no time. Onto the mid lane, our blind pick recommendation is going to be Malzahar. Malzahar has actually been one of the strongest mid laners in the game for quite some time, but has never tipped the edge into the broken tier. The reason why Malzahar is a great blind pick is due to his safety and playstyle. During the early laning phase, you're likely just playing to survive and catch as much CS as possible. Your CSing won't be great early, but once you purchase a few items, you can pretty much clear the entire wave with your E. Once you pass that level 6 mark, you can easily set up ganks for your jungler while also completely shutting down enemy assassins by locking them in place. Not a lot of champions can actually match your wave clear once you get going, so make sure to try them out. And onto the blind pick ADC recommendation, we once again have Heimerdinger. However, instead of the top lane Heimer build with Conqueror, we are now switching over to Arcane Comet. The reason why we selected Arcane Comet this time is due to the bot lane meta containing long-range ADCs who are extremely squishy rather than immobile top lane tanks. Because of how fragile these bot laners are, Arcane Comet is a great way to set up an all-in and burst down your opponents. On top of that, the healing from Conqueror isn't really needed down there because fights usually end pretty quickly. Either the enemy ADC dies within 3 seconds, or you do. Give them a try, and also get a support duo to play someone like Leona or Nautilus because they work great together. Speaking of Nautilus, our support blind recommendation is going to be Nautilus. Nautilus is an all-around great tank support who can set up engages very well, while also having a decent amount of peel and lockdown. He's relatively easy to play compared to other supports and is actually in a decent spot in the meta. He did, however, receive some huge nerfs within the past weeks, but they didn't really hurt him all that much. In fact, the more impactful changes made to his kit were the recent buffs for Aftershock. Aftershock's cooldown was reduced by nearly half, from 35 seconds to 20 seconds at the start of the preseason. This means that Nautilus will pretty much have it up almost every single time he wants to engage. Here's a recap of all the blind pick recommendations and their builds. Now let's move on to the second section of this video, which covers the best flex picks. These 5 champions are for when you're picking a champion and want to avoid being counterpicked by choosing a flexible champ. Starting with the top lane, our flex pick recommendation is going to be Rengar. Now, Rengar didn't actually receive any changes recently, but has been indirectly buffed due to a few new additions to the game. Firstly, Sanguine Blade is extremely powerful in this champion and can easily snowball your lane as soon as you purchase it. Having lethality, attack speed, attack damage, and lifesteal are all great for Rengar, and we highly recommend you try this item out on him. Next up, having that extra bush in the middle of the lane and in the jungle are pretty good for him as well. On top of that, whenever you get the Ocean Rift changes, then there will be even more bushes for him to abuse. Lastly, the new Conqueror works pretty well with Rengar once you have your first item. The lifesteal and bonus stats from Sanguine Blade combined with the healing from Conqueror makes you hard to kill. Next up is our jungle flex pick choice, who is Echo. Now, it's pretty obvious by now that Echo is an overtuned champion who is playable in 3 different roles. The Balance team have severely overbuffed him within the past few months, mainly due to the introduction of his new skin, True Damage Echo. When it comes to jungling, Echo has a decent, healthy, and fast clear, which keeps him competitive in the meta. His ganking could be a little bit stronger, but it's still decent nonetheless. So if you're a jungle main, then you have to start playing this champion because he is so powerful right now. On to the mid lane, our flex pick champion is going to be Nocturne. Much like Rengar, Nocturne didn't receive any direct changes this patch, but has been indirectly buffed due to a few additions. Firstly, it goes without saying that Sanguine Blade is absolutely broken on this champion. As soon as you purchase it, you can ult onto anyone who is isolated and destroy them in the 1v1 with almost 0 effort. Nocturne is actually one of the hottest picks right now in Korean solo queue, and a lot of pro players have been playing him in the mid lane. However, do keep in mind that Nocturne also did receive an indirect nerf this patch due to the changes made to Presence of Mind, but he's overall a lot stronger. And onto the bottom lane, our flex pick recommendation for both support and AD carry this time around is going to be Senna. Senna is one of the newest champions in League of Legends, and oh boy, she is really OP. Her kit is overloaded, her numbers are overtuned, and her win rate, play rate, and ban rate are just off the charts. Not only is she one of the best supports in the game, but she's also one of the best AD carries. Senna scales so incredibly well into the mid to late game while also having a very strong early game. On top of that, her roaming potential and global presence with her ultimate is almost unmatched by any other ADC. If you have the chance to pick Senna in a ranked game, then we highly recommend that you do because the freelo won't last forever. Our analysts are predicting that Senna will be nerfed within the coming months, so abuse her while you can. Here is a quick recap of all the builds we mentioned for our flex picks. And now onto the hard carry section. These picks are for when you're sick and tired of inting teammates and want to take matters into your own hands. If you're feeling confident enough in yourself, then try out these next 5 champions. Starting with the top lane, our hard carry pick is going to be Quinn. Now again, Quinn didn't receive any changes during the preseason, but was buffed by a huge amount indirectly thanks to the addition of Sanguine Blade. She is arguably one of the best top laners in the game due to her synergy with this item. Even when Sanguine Blade didn't exist, Quinn was already one of the most oppressive lane bullies in the top lane. But now with Sanguine Blade, she's even more OP. Once you purchase this item, there's almost nothing the opponent can do, especially if they're a melee champion. Sanguine Blade is pretty much a free win during the laning phase, and you can then transition your lead from lane to other parts of the map by using your ultimate. Next up is our jungle hard carry pick, which is going to be Master Yi. Master Yi jungle has actually gotten quite a bit stronger this patch due to the hard farm playstyle becoming slightly stronger. Since camps spawn every 2 minutes instead of 2.5 minutes, Master Yi can easily power farm into his item spikes and also solo the dragon during the early stages of the game. On top of that, some players have been building Sanguine Blade on him early to help increase his clear speed exponentially. If you get ahead during the early game, then you'll be able to clear your camps really fast and stay 2 to 3 levels ahead of the enemy jungler. If you main jungle, then give Lethality Master Yi a try. It's a bit more aggressive than the usual on-hit build, but it's really fun to play, and players will be surprised at how much burst you have. On to the mid lane, our hard carry pick is going to be Cassiopeia. Cass has become a lot stronger this patch thanks to the addition to the reworked Conqueror. She's one of the best mages in the game who can use this rune, and it's really powerful on her. Cass can get to 10 stacks extremely fast, so she'll get that extra healing combined with damage. This rune works best into those melee matchups where you can get a lot of free Twin Fangs off to chunk out your opponent. There are some matchups where Phase Rush is still needed, but it's a safe call to opt for Conqueror in most of your games. In addition to this, the new Presence of Mind works in Cass's favor because the extra mana will help you do even more damage thanks to your Seraph's Embrace. Give it a try, you won't regret it. And onto the ADCs. Our hard carry pick this patch will be Miss Fortune. This build for her is a little bit unique because it involves building anywhere between 4 to 6 Doran's Blades. This build originated from Korea and has been dominating solo queue ever since. By having this many Doran's Blades, you'll be an extremely tanky and unkillable ADC who does loads of damage. This build works the best on Miss Fortune, but can also work with most ADCs except Ezreal and Kai'Sa. Quite honestly, I feel like Riot will have to address this OP build in the future and maybe add a unique passive to the Doran's Blade strat, but we'll have to wait and see. And lastly, we have our supports. Brand is going to be our hard carry pick for supports this patch, and he is a lot stronger than he was before. Once again, Brand is a great user of the new Conqueror rune and new support items. His poke and burst are super strong right now in the bottom lane, and he can easily 1v2 double kill the enemy duo. Brand is a burst mage who's also very squishy, so you'll have to play a little bit smarter into those tougher matchups like Blitzcrank, but during the mid game, you'll be able to 1v9 with your combo. The Conqueror damage combined with the healing actually puts in a ton of work. Once you get max stacks and use your ultimate, just stare at your HP bar and watch you heal a crap ton. Alright, that's it for our blind picks and hard carries video. We'd love to hear your suggestions on how to make these videos better, so if you have something to add, then please comment down below. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content in the future. Also, make sure to check out ProGuides.com for guides and videos that were made by your favorite pro players, such as Hi, Bunny Fufu, and Mike Young. We're gonna start uploading a lot more content within the coming weeks, so make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of every upload. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you out on the Rift.